Today on Fresh Vintage, we're giving our 2011 Ford Mustang the PowerStop upgrade it needs. It's going to have some awesome braking improvements and performance. Old pads are a little close, but we're just going to go ahead and knock everything out. We just did the front rotors and brakes. Check out that video. You'll find the link for that in the description of this video here. But this fits 2005 to 2014 Mustangs, and with that, we're going to jump to the back of the car and get started right now. So I just wanted to shout out a few things. We have our Aoben. That is a nice unit, DIYer unit. We picked it up on Amazon, but you can find the link for this in the description if you're in this video if you're interested. We have a 21 millimeter Chicago pneumatic socket here, and the really cool thing is we have a quick jack. This is a 7000 TL. This is an ALI certified lift. If you've never seen or heard of one of these, definitely check out our channel, Fresh Vintage Garage, and let me just show you real quick, because I'm going to try to push on this thing, and I mean, you can see it's not going to go anywhere. So very, very solid lift here. Tons of room underneath of it, and I would say definitely check out our video on Fresh Vintage Garage. But with that, we have 21 millimeter lug nuts. We're just going to go ahead and pop these off here. Cool thing about this Aoben is it won't just keep spinning. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Oops, let me actually loosen, not tighten. There we go. And that time it came off, but you can see it stopped. It didn't just keep spinning over and over again as I try to break the lug stud there. Now that one, I'm not sure if it's like a pressure thing on this, but it will normally stop. And let me do another one. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See, it stopped there. And then you can hit it again and get them the rest of the way off, so your lug nut doesn't go like zing off into the garage somewhere. So see, it just stopped there. And make sure you loosen the lug nuts, not tighten them like I just tried to do and break the lug stud. We're going to get this off and take a look at the caliper next. So these are the factory original brakes that were on the Mustang when it rolled off the assembly line. And with that being said, there's a little clip here that I'm personally just going to kind of partially destroy just to get these off of here so it actually come off of the stud. So we have a 13 millimeter and a 3/8 drive ratchet, and I just have to chuckle because we just did the front brakes in the other video you can see on our channel there, but the front ones had a 12 millimeter bolt here, and this is a 13, so I don't know why Ford did that. I'm sure they had their reasons, but just make sure you have a 13 for the back and a 12 for the front if you're doing all four brakes in the same day. Oops, hitting the body in here. There we go. So far, so good. We'll get these out, and then we'll hang our caliper up. So we're going to do this the non-Ford approved method. I'm just going to take my ratchet and put it in here. You don't have to do much, just enough to get this to move and wiggle, because it's loose-ish, but it's also, it doesn't hurt to give it a little bit of extra just to get those to come out. And I'm actually fighting with the brake pads too. The brake pads are trying to come out, so let me work at this a little bit more and I'll get these off of here in just a moment. So quick update, we went and got a screwdriver, and this is a little bit more stuck than I would honestly like it. It's coming off, and we're kind of just forcing it to come off, like right there. It just finally came off, but that parking brake, just the pressure on this may be a little bit more than we had originally anticipated, but now that it is free, we have ourselves, this is an Arcan. You can find these all over the place, and we have a link for this in the description of the video, but we have a little mount, little hole in the body here. So we're just going to pull this off, and I'm just going to hook this. So now that we have our caliper hanging, we can just easily pull these out one by one. And they're not that bad, but they definitely needed replaced. I mean, you could drive them a little bit longer, ride them around a little bit longer, but just quick note that they came off like this. And I'm calling that out because your squeal, when your pad gets low, it'll start squealing when you hear your brakes doing that. That little piece of metal there, so they came off like this, so we want to make sure we keep that in mind when we start working on putting the new pads back on. From here, let's see if these are 15 millimeter. They are 15 millimeter. How about that? So we have, this is a 1/2 inch drive impact 15 millimeter. And then we have a breaker bar, and I may have to not lay on the ground per se, but let's see if I can do this without actually laying on the ground. Oh yeah, there we go. That was a lot easier than the front ones. Well, we're going to figure out how to actually do this because everything's in the way, but we'll be right back with this in my hands. Just got these loose, and just for some commentary, this Mustang has never been apart before for its brakes, so you're probably going to encounter some stiff bolts, and you can see all the Loctite they have on those. Those are 15 millimeter, and looking at them, they definitely have a pretty decent. So those kind of came out a little bit harder than you would assume they would. But here is our caliper bracket, and overall it's in good shape. So we're going to put that aside and then pull our rotor off. And there we go. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's good that we're doing this because those pads probably wouldn't have lasted another year, to be honest. But let's grab our PowerStop stuff and we'll start installing it right now. We went ahead and got the rotor installed on here. When I say installed, it's kind of just sitting there, but we kind of did a pro tip thing with just putting a lug nut on, and that helps keep the rotor from moving around as much. It's like 99% in place and perpendicular, you know, parallel to the car and whatnot. But from here, what we have to do is get our caliper, the actual piston, back into the caliper. And you can see I already have the kit open here, but I want to show you this kit. This is a power built kit, and when you get one of these, 100% make sure you open it from the right side. It says in little tiny wording that I'm not going to show you here, open this side up, so you think they'd put it like really big wording. But anyway, so this whole kit, what it's designed to do is actually give you different adapters. And this specific one, these are just wide enough to fit down into this caliper piston right here. So you can see they kind of engage. There's two little notches in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this base unit, and then we're going to drop this in here, and then we actually have to take this and put it like that. So we're going to have ourselves a little pushing type device, so as we rotate this, it'll not only spin, but it'll push that piston back into the caliper. This is kind of ideally, you want to see those little pins engaged with the piston there. So we're going to go ahead and push this in. So this looks extremely different than the last time you saw it, and we're going to break it down like how we got to this point. So the basic situation here is your brake pads, they're worn out, they're thinner, versus your new ones, which are, they're still in the package, but you can see they're much thicker than the old ones. So you have extra width on the pads, and you have an extra width on the rotor versus the old, you know, worn down rotor. So all of that needs to fit in this caliper, and what you need to do is push the piston in on this actual caliper. This isn't like a front of the vehicle caliper. It's a little bit different because it has a parking brake built into it. And just, you know, be 100% transparent, we've never actually had one give us this much trouble, but we had an awesome person make a suggestion of take the rotor off, which we did. The rotor's sitting right there. Remount everything so the caliper bracket is back on, and the caliper itself is mounted onto the caliper bracket. And so from there, what we've done is it's still not turning 100%. So we had to break the bleeder valve open, the actual brake fluid bleeder valve. That's an 11 millimeter socket. So we went and got ourselves, where is that? A separate 11 millimeter socket, and cracked that open. And it's pretty hard to turn. Like, I'll try, it's like even that is actually taking a lot of torque. So this just happened to be a copper pipe we have at the house. And so I'm going to put this on here, and I want to show you the actual mechanism that's turning. Let me grab the camera and show you what is turning here. So as I rotate this, you can see the piston is spinning itself back in. It's actually spinning in. Instead of pushing in, it's spinning in. And so I'm going to put this pipe back on here. maybe, there we go. And I'm going to keep spinning this in, and we won't show you any more of this, but the next time you see it, that should be pushed in all the way. So we have our rotor back on, we have pushed the piston all the way in as far as I think it's going to go, and we have our caliper back on, caliper bracket, forgive me. So these bolts need to be 85 foot-pounds, and big shout out to our friends at Harbor Freight. They sent us this Icon torque wrench, really nice unit, and we set it to 85 foot-pounds. So I'm going to do my best to get this big thing in here and then torque these down, which might take a little bit of work simply because we do have the car in the way kind of thing. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to get this in here. There we go. So there's that. Just make sure that's square on and flush on that bolt head. Okay. There we go. The bottom one should be a little bit easier to get to. Dare I say those words. There we go. So that's 85 foot-pounds. Now something to keep in mind before you put this caliper back on, obviously you want to put the brakes on, but inside this caliper, we've been slowly turning. So if you hold it here, we've slowly been turning this thing to not only push the piston back in, but twist it too. It's literally spinning. And we make that note because when you stop doing this, if you look inside here, these two notches need to line up. Those need to engage. If you think about the brake pad being here, that pin needs to go in here. So it's very important because you have a little bit of wiggle room, but you want to make sure that is lined up properly so that when you set that actual caliper on here, the brake pad's properly engaged with it. Quick recap, these are our old brakes, and I'm just calling that out because you see the anti-squeal device, it was on this side, and you know it's on this side because you see the rust from the piston right here. If you've never done a brake job before, this is an excellent way to tell, oh, I threw them on the ground and forgot which one's which side. Excellent way to tell piston versus non-piston side. All that to say, we want to put our brakes on the exact same way our new ones. So I just went into our kit and I found this guy here, which is the anti-squeal little piece of metal's right there. And then same thing on this side. So I have that wrong. That's how easy you can do this. Look at that. So I had that backwards. That would have totally not fit. So let me grab the other one here. There we go. So the side of this, again, if you've never done a brake job, you can see it's curved versus it's kind of flat. So that is the proper setup. And I already put the silicone on here. Where is that? Somewhere here. PowerStop does give you ceramic silicone brake component lubricant. Fancy way of saying anti-seize. So really nice that they give you that. And from here, we're just going to slowly slide these in here. And I'm sure it'll give us absolutely no issues whatsoever, right? There we go. There's that one. And let's get this back one in here. And there's the back one. So a couple things to call out here before you just go slapping this back on here and causing yourself some headaches. You want to make sure these sliders do exactly what I just said. They slide. These move in and they're supposed to rotate a little bit, and the reason that's important is you can't really see it that well, but there's a flat spot on either end of these. And the reason I mention that is you see there's also a corresponding flat spot here. So if you go slapping this back on here and it's just fighting you tooth and nail, you probably have a few things that going on. You may have this flat spot not properly engaged here and on the top, and or this piston isn't properly rotated because on the actual brake pad you have that little nub there, that little pin, and so you need to properly engage that on the piston side. Otherwise this is probably not going to go together for you no matter how hard you fight with it. But I'm going to pull this off of here. I'm pretty sure we got everything lined up. And you also have these, what do you call it, to contend with, these springs. So a couple things in the way here, but I think I should be able to just drop this down on here. And I'm going to go play the lottery because this seems to be going together perfectly. Quick recap, you have your caliper bracket bolts tightened down 85 foot-pounds. You have everything in your caliper that we already talked about, 100% good to go. This feels to be floating. That's exactly what you want to see. And we're just going to do this. And that looks like it might be struggling, but we're also turning the other wheel on the back, which I didn't notice that. Is this a posi? Is this a limited slip? Something you want to keep in mind, they do mention doing the top bolt first, so I'm going to torque that one down first. And that's plenty tight. And then we'll do the bottom one here. There we go. And just wanted to shout out, if you can't do this, if that won't slide like that, your caliper is probably stuck some way, somehow, but definitely double check that. But you should be able to rotate everything. It should be good and feeling like it'll move. So now that we're here, we'll just slap the tire back on here. Go. And then we have our awesomeness that you saw at the beginning of the video. We have a torque stick for that, which will give us 90 foot-pounds. These lug nuts need 100 foot-pounds, so we'll torque them down from 90 to 100 with our torque wrench. But to get to the 90 foot-pounds, we'll use our torque stick. So we're going to grab that and show it to you next. Okay, now that you're ready, just go ahead and put this on max torque and just hammer these things home in a big old circle. Absolutely 100% do not do what I just said. We have a torque stick here. And this is designed, this actual shaft is designed to limit the torque coming out of the impact, whether it's air or cordless battery, whatever. It's designed to limit it to you get 90 foot-pounds at the actual socket. And then from there, we're going to do this in a star pattern, and then we'll hit it with the torque wrench to get from 90 to 100 foot-pounds. We'll grab the torque wrench, and let's do a check here. Ah, perfect. So we're going to get these from 90 to 100 foot-pounds, and Jay's going to run inside to the car and hit the brakes so that the wheel's not turning. But once we get these torqued down to 100 foot-pounds, we're going to jump over to the passenger side, and if we see anything weird, it's going to be rinse and repeat for the most part over there, so we won't show you that in the video. But if we see anything weird along the way, we'll definitely throw it into the video. So stay tuned, and we're going to jump to the end of the brake install right now. So you can see we got the driver's side done now. Our lug nuts are torqued down to 100 foot-pounds. Keep in mind the caliper bolts themselves 27 foot-pounds and the caliper bracket bolts are 85 foot-pounds. All that to say, we have to get this off of the lift, and then we're going to go take it and do a break-in procedure. This is unique to PowerStop, so if you do a PowerStop brake upgrade on your vehicle, definitely make sure you follow these. We won't read this to you, but you got to do some decels. It heat treats the brakes and sets them so that they're happy for the rest of their lives, kind of thing. With that, we appreciate you watching, and now that you got your PowerStop upgrade done, you too can be a certified fresh vintage mechanic. With that, we appreciate you watching. If you like classic cars, if you like muscle cars, if you like keeping your cars certified fresh and on the road, Fresh Vintage, your channel, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.